earliest evidence of modern humans in Europe discovered in a Bulgarian cave. The human bone fragments were confirmed to belong to early modern humans who inhabited Europe 1,000 years earlier than was previously believed. Scientists have long tried to piece together the timeline of the arrival of our ancestors, the first Homo sapiens in Europe. Our species' arrival eventually pushed out the Neanderthals, the indigenous occupants of the continent before us. It was difficult to determine the precise timeline of events during this time, partly because human specimens from the initial Upper Paleolithic era are so scarce. But a new study examining the oldest human remains found in Europe has given scientists clues. According to Science Alert, these Homo sapien bones were uncovered in a Bulgarian cave site known to archaeologists as Bako Kiro Cave, located at the foot of the Balkan Mountains. The discovery of these modern human bone fragments was detailed in two separate papers in the journal Nature and Nature, Ecology, and Evolution. Bako Kiro Cave is known to be rich with Paleolithic fossils. Excavations were performed at the cave in the early 20th century, but by the time the 1970s rolled around, many of the human bones that were found there had somehow been lost. New specimens were recovered during the 2015 excavations of the cave, resulting in the discovery of pieces of bones. The specimens found were so fragmented that scientists were unable to determine what species the bones had belonged to, or whether they were animal or human bones, through a quick physical examination. They were able to quickly assess one tooth specimen as belonging to modern humans, but it was not enough for researchers to accurately determine that their bounty of fossils indeed belonged to Homo sapiens. The researchers brought their findings back to the lab for a proper analysis. They used a mass spectrometry technique called Zoom-MS to find protein sequences among hundreds of unidentified bone fragments that matched the Homo sapien species. They found that 5 of the bone fragments came from our modern human ancestors. And more shocking was the age of the fragments. Using a combination of methods involving radiocarbon dating and sequencing of mitochondrial DNA, the researchers estimated that these humans inhabited the cave about 45,820 to 43,650 years ago. Some of the remains could possibly even date back even further to 46,940 years ago. The result established the bones as the oldest Homo sapien remains discovered in Europe so far, which in turn provides scientists with the earliest date showing the presence of our species on the continent. The specimens push back the previously estimated dates of our species' arrival in Europe by at least 1,000 years. During excavations at the cave, scientists also found a number of tool items, including pendants made from cave bear teeth. The pendants closely resemble those made by the last Neanderthals of Western Europe, who went extinct about 39,000 years ago. Researchers believe this signifies contact between Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals. Early modern humans brought new behaviors into Europe and interacted with local Neanderthals. This is what Jean-Jacques Hublin, co-author of the study and director of the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology's Department of Human Evolution, told CNN. He said they exchanged genes but also techniques. The kind of pendants found in Bako Kiro cave will be later also produced by the last Neanderthals in Western Europe. And he said this early wave of modern peopling largely predates the final extinction of the Neanderthals in Western Europe 8,000 years later. Such a chronological overlap of the two species in Europe indicates that the replacement of one species by the other was a more complex process than what has been so far envisioned by most scholars. This was earliest evidence of modern humans in Europe discovered in Bulgarian cave, originally created for All That Interesting, published here under Creative Commons on Collective Spark by Steve McCambly. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.